Hey everyone, Sprawlsy here. Welcome to my video. Hope you're doing well, and I am fine and dandy here in my living room with my little husky friend. I've often wondered what I would do if I had a time machine. One of those fancy gadgets where I could skip to the future or skip to the past and see how things were in the past or the future. Sadly, I don't have a time machine, but if one were available, what would I do with it? I think there's a few places I would like to go, or time periods I would like to go. I would quite happily go to the future, 100 years into the future, see how things are going, see what happened with COVID in the long run, and see what comes of climate change and for next elections. And I would then jump forward like another 1,000, 2,000 years, see how the Earth has evolved, how the human race has developed, how different the world will be. Are we then, or is the human race in 2,000 years travelling amongst the stars? Has the human race developed time travel at that point? But if I had a time machine already, that would mean time travel would have been discovered. Yeah. Anyway, back to what I would do with my time machine. So that is to the future. I would quite happily go to the future to see how things turn out. But then I suppose if I went forward 2,000 years to see how things turn out, I would then need to go another 2,000 years in front of that, ahead of that, to see how things came of that. You know, everything carries on. The universe carries on. So I could go 2,000 years in the future, see how things are, then go 4,000 years in the future, see how things are. I could end up going 10,000 years in the future and see how things are. So there's no end to going forward in time, but I would quite like to go forward to just see how things are in the future, you know. And if I go far enough, then hopefully we have decent space travel, so I can then see the rest of the galaxy. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so going forward in time, I would be quite happy to check out, especially if there are spaceships to travel and see other planets and star systems, because I would quite like to travel through the galaxy. And hopefully with a spaceship that's quick enough or has the technology to get to different star systems very quickly. So I would quite like to go to the future to see that we have, or that the human race has space travel. That would be pretty good to see. Also, if I had a time machine, I would quite like to go in the past as well. I'm not really that fussed about human history. So, you know, Tudors, Romans, boring. I want to go even further back. I want to go see the dinosaurs. That's where I would go back with my time machine. I would go 65 million years into the past, or however million years as years, because I think dinosaurs did span over a number of millennia, or the dinosaurs were around for millions of years ago. Now I'd quite like to see them. So see a Velociraptor, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Roar! I'd quite like to see them and see how true they are to our current understandings. You know, do they have feathers or do they not have feathers? Do they look like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, or are they completely different looking to what we see in Jurassic Park? And are they as ferocious as they are in Jurassic Park? No, you do not want to cross that Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park, it would eat you. Or are they very docile, friendly creatures that you could take home as your pet? So yeah, I would quite like to go back to the dinosaur era and see how the dinosaurs were. See what they look like, see how they behaved, see how they eat. Hopefully not eating me. would I do anything else with my time machine? So I would go to the future to see how everything turned out. I suppose if I went to the future, 2,000 years, I'd probably want to go 60 million years into the future as well. See what becomes of the human race. Is it extinct, or has it evolved? Have new forms of life evolved on Earth, or has the Earth been destroyed? So, in 65 million years from now into the future, a lot will have happened. Who knows what it will all look like? But with a time machine, I could find out. And then, in the past again, I would see the dinosaurs. I suppose in terms of human history, I wouldn't mind seeing how the pyramids in Egypt were built. That'd be pretty cool to see. Well, it might not be, depends how they were built. But plays on my mind. I'd like to know how it happened. And also Stonehenge in Wiltshire, England. Be nice to see how those were put up. I know there's a few different theories, but it'd be good to actually see it be created, to see how these great big slabs of stone got put up in a circle and why it was done. That'd be good to see. Oh, there is one last thing I would do with a time machine now that I think of it. I would go back to a point where I could put some money into a savings account and allow it to grow for a really long time, then go back to the present, and hopefully that savings account would have accumulated to a lot of money, and then I would take it all out and be rich, and then I can buy a really nice house and go travelling around the world. Sounds like a perfect plan. That would be the ultimate goal with my time machine. Okay, so I acquire the time machine, however I get. Okay, so this would be the plan with my time machine. I have the time machine. I go to the future to see how everything turns out. Some random. Okay, so I have the time machine. This is my plan with the time machine. I get the time machine. I go to some point in the future to see how everything turns out, have a good time in the future. Then I go back in time to see the dinosaurs and see how they all turned out, or how they all went back then. And then I'll go see how the pyramids were built in Egypt and how Stonehenge was created as well, and maybe some other points in time that take my fancy. And then I will get some money, go to a designated point in time where there's good savings rates or the suitable time to put money in for investment. Put the money in, come back to the present, open up my account, and hopefully I have lots of money, or I might open an account just before the COVID point, but I don't know. Okay, so I've given this some thought on the order of stuff I would do with my time machine. So I get the time machine, I then go to some point in the future to see how everything turns out, have a bit of fun in the future. Then I go back to see the dinosaurs and see how they all looked and behaved, etc, etc. I then go to Egypt to see how the pyramids were built, at whatever point in time the pyramids were built. I then go to Wiltshire, Stonehenge, to see how Stonehenge was built, at whatever point that was built. And then I go to some designated point in time to put some money into a good savings account. I'll have to do my research first to find out what savings account with what bank and at what point in time. Okay, so I then put money in that savings account, come back to the present, open up savings account, and hopefully that money has grown to a massive point of money, and I'm rich and I can then buy a very nice fancy house with a swimming pool and go travelling the world. Sounds like a plan. Well, so that is what I would do with my time machine. Future, dinosaurs in the past, and use it to make lots of money. What would you do with your time machine? Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you do, like, subscribe, check out the others. I'll be back for something soon. Goodbye!